right, Miles, let's talk about the Baltimore Ravens here for a little bit. Coming off yet another preseason win. It seems all the Ravens do in preseason. There's a lot of interesting competition battles going on in that Ravens squad, and I know you have the specifics on one in particular. But before we get into that, Ravens fans, it's an exciting time to be around. A lot of predictions coming about what's going to happen this season, who's going to win the division, who's going to make it to the playoffs, who's going to win the big awards at the end of the year. MVP, Rookie of the Year. There's some candidates on the Ravens. Will Lamar Jackson get another MVP? Maybe a guy like Kyle Hamilton or Isaiah Likely wins Rookie of the Year. Who knows? Let us know in the comment section below who you think has a strong chance to win one of these prestigious awards at the end of the season. But Myers, what's the latest out of Baltimore?
Yeah, Nick, if I'm a betting man, I put my money on Likely as the biggest one of the three to be up for an award. I think he's going to surprise a whole bunch of people. But let's talk about something else. It's something that has kind of been a touchy subject for Baltimore in the last 2 years. The running back position. Obviously, last year, Baltimore was completely decimated with injuries in the running back department. I'd say everybody from J.K. Dobbins, Gus Edwards, and Justice Hill all had pretty bad injuries in the running back department, and we had to go get a whole new crop of free agent running backs. And now Baltimore, they don't want that problem to have again, so we're going to pile up on running back depth and get ready for the season. Obviously, J.K. Dobbins is back in practice, and he will be ready. He assures everyone he's going to be ready for game one this season. So that's pretty exciting. But running back number two has kind of been called into question because Gus Edwards' progression in his health in the health department has not been nearly as good as J.K. Dobbins. Is taking much longer, and there's no telling when Edwards is going to be back. So Baltimore is kind of on the lookout for who is going to take over the number 2 running back role. And there's been a lot of names that come on the team. Obviously, Justice Hill is back. I'm not as big of a fan of Hill just for the pass blocking reasons. And he kind of seems, if he doesn't get a lot of running room, he gets shut down pretty easily. Obviously, they brought in Mike Davis. They've brought in Corey Clement. They've brought in Nate McCrary. And they have a rookie, Tyler Beatty, out of Missouri, who was a pretty productive rusher in college. So there's a lot of options. But for me personally, the guy that I like the most and has been the most impressive to me is that of Mike Davis, former South Carolina Gamecock running back, veteran in the league. And he's that big guy that can take over the role of Gus Edwards, who's that bruiser back. He charged forward. Edwards would always hit the hole with such ferocity, and he was averaging like 5 yards a carry every time. He just blast through anybody, and 4, 5, 6 yards in a cloud of dust every time. He was a really hard downhill runner, and I think Mike Davis can fill that role. But there's some other things Mike Davis does well. He can catch passes. And most importantly, Mike Davis is very capable in the pass protection game. And that is one of the core things that Baltimore running backs have to do: ball security and pass protection. And if you can't do that, John Harbaugh is not going to let you carry the rock. And Mike Davis laid an incredible chip on one of the Titans running backs, laid him out completely, went out, finished his route. But he looked really capable in pass protection. And I think that's a strong point of his game, which is going to get him starting reps at the second position in the running back's spot. But what are you thinking about all of this, Nick?
Yeah, so I'm sure there's some people out there that are wondering, why are we talking so much about this second running back position now that Dobbins looks like he's healthy and is rearing and ready to go for the season? The Baltimore Ravens use 2 running back personnel far more than anybody in the NFL. They have 2 running backs on the field 43% of the time in 2021 compared to the league average of 11%. That's a lot of heavy usage out of the running back position. A lot of that has to do with Greg Roman's offense that they run with Lamar Jackson, running those sort kind of option looks, whether it's a triple option or a standard zone read kind of deal. They use multiple running backs, the motion sets, things like that. And you also brought up the injury concerns, right? Dobbins obviously coming off injuries, Edwards, things like that. So you need to have a strong stable. And because the Ravens use multiple running backs all the time, two running backs on the field almost half the time, they need to have two really dependable guys and potentially a third guy. So even if Edwards is healthy, you need a guy like Mike Davis there at number 3, or whoever can win out in that competition. You brought up Davis. I think he's the strongest, most likely candidate to be that guy in case Edwards or Dobbins gets hurt. Because if you don't have enough running backs in this offense, like you saw last season, you're kind of just reaching to find people off the street because that's how their offense runs. Yeah. They didn't want to bring in those guys, those washed up guys that, were kind of just available, those veterans. They had no choice because that's the offense they ran. So by focusing on that position this preseason and making that a point of interest in these competitions, they're trying to remove that problem if it comes back this season.
All right, Nick, it's time to get your internet privacy back today on every device you own in any country you want. Don't let anyone but you control your internet. NordVPN keeps you safe from prying eyes wherever you go online with their military-grade encryption. Is your favorite Netflix or streaming content blocked in the US? You can simply connect to one of the many countries available with NordVPN and get the access you need.
That's right, Maya. So right now, get our exclusive NordVPN deal here at nordvpn.com/SMI. It's risk-free now with NordVPN's 30-day money-back guarantee. Again, get that exclusive deal, nordvpn.com/SMI.